Hey, what's up, guys? I thought I would do a guide for the Endear deck that I was playing on ladder the past couple days. So, this is gonna be kind of different from my other guides. It's gonna be a bit more in depth. I'm gonna explain the first. This is inspired by like controls deck guide format. Heavily inspired by it. I'm just gonna explain the card choices, some replacement cards you could do, and yeah. Uh, we're gonna explain some the mulligans and go over specific matchups. Okay, so firstly, Butcher. This card is in here because it's just a solid 3/2. It works well with to proc keeper. It's mainly there to proc keeper, but you can also use it on an aristocrat or a sentry if you need the card draw or something. Could also use it to occasionally end games by proccing Neverglade at burst speed. So yeah. Um, Secondly, we have the aristocrats. This card can be removed. So it's basically here to be a chump blocker and to level Elise. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It can also be a good caretaker target or a butcher target, as I mentioned earlier. Omen Hawk. This is staple in every failure deck ever. So yeah, enough said. Sentry. It's really good. It cycles itself out. It's pretty much also pretty useless against fearsomes, but it cycles itself out. It's a target for butcher, target for caretaker. Yeah, it's a good chump blocker as well. Curse Keeper. This is basically a super good combo piece. Everyone knows the caretaker keeper. Turn 2 and turn 3. Turn 2 keeper butcher. Really good card. It got nerfed from a 4. The abomination got nerfed from a 4/4 to a 4/3, but it's still super good play. If you get it on curve. So yeah, at least solid 2-drop. Just like gets more spiders to die for you. I mean, it's one of the best 2-drops in the game, honestly. Glimpse Beyond, good to counter other Shadow Owls decks, like if they Vile Feast you or something, or even like not Ash Juani, Culling Strike. You could Glimpse to get card draw, deny their card value. It's good against Ezreal decks too because it removes the target. So yeah, slow the Ezreal decks down. Next up we have Vile Feast. Vile Feast is just a solid Shadow Owls card. It slows the game down. It gives you a spider that can potentially also level Elise, if not chump blocks. It can be used to deny Glimpse. Yeah, solid card, solid card. Callista. Callista is actually not like the main focus on this. We focus on Elise, but there is a version where it's more Callista than Elise focus, and I'll show you guys that in a bit. But Callista, it's pretty easy to level her up. You could caretaker or just level her up naturally. Caretaker is the easiest way to level her up in this deck. And then after that, she's just super good. She protects herself when she attacks, and yeah, solid over round. Oh, after she levels, of course, she protects herself. So, sometimes people don't do this, but if you caretaker, put the Callista on the right, and she'll level after the saplings kill themselves. So yeah. Fury of the North. It is a solid combat trick. You could save anything. You could push for damage. Honestly, you could even bluff with 4 mana, and they're gonna be scared you have Fury, so they're not gonna go for the removal. Yeah, good buff. Neverglade. Some people run 3 of Neverglades. I think that's personally too much because double drawing them feels bad sometimes in this list. But you can run 3 Neverglade. It's just one of the other Swarm payoffs you have. Enders our other Swarm payoff. Goes super well with Swarm. You have a lot of Swarm with this deck in the form of Caretaker Release, Aristocrat. Yeah. Atrocity. This is a win condition. If they like go to Vengeance here and Endure, and you have this in your hand, you Atrocity the Nexus, they're dead. Yeah. Of course, some people run 1 of. If I think 3 is much too greedy, but you could drop this down to 1 if if you feel like you don't need it, but it's a really good win condition. So you do run one Sejuani in this list, and I think we just don't need 3 Callistas, honestly. Sejuani, it's solid, it's 1v games. Like, you can play it on defense if you're getting aggroed down, you can play it on offense if you need to remove a unit. It's just great all around. You could even like give something with low, if you have Endure on board already, right? You could like give vulnerable to something with low health, and then you could swing the Endure into that, and then they can't really do much. Ender, it's the deck. It pays off of Swarm, like it rewards you so much. It's basically one of the strongest cards in the game right now. Even at 7 mana, I still think it's super good, super good. One of Vengeance, it just helps with like getting threatening unyielding spirit decks, getting rid of other people's enders. I don't know, getting rid of super buffed shit like Brahms. Yeah. Call season on stuff like Hecarim, more niche stuff, etc. So those are that's the cards in my deck. The tech cards you could fit in are if you wanna fit in Haunted Relic to level Callista, you can. But if you do that, I recommend dropping the Elise, going to the 3 Callista version, and maybe dropping a couple Aristocrats for the Haunted Relics. It also creates 3 units for Ender and sometimes Everglade. So yeah, you can consider that. Other than that, oh, Bark Beast. Bark Beast is pretty good in this list. I just preferred the other cards, but if you want, by all means, like, fit in a Bark Beast, like, you could do this, maybe. I don't know. It's a super good card, but I just prefer the jump blockers, honestly. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think that's it. Because there's not, like, a lot of cards I see people run here. Sometimes people run Wailing Grasp. I don't think you need to. You could run one Ruination, maybe. Honestly, usually you don't go that long in the game, so it should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about some matchups. So, firstly, against Ash Sejuani, which is the most popular deck in this metagame. Oh wait, yeah, so you want to be mulliganing like so. You want your chump blockers because like they could load up with five attack units pretty fast, right? So you want your chump blockers. If you have Keeper out, keep it. You could probably ditch Caretaker unless you have Keeper or like something to proc it in your hand. Butcher's okay, but I would only keep it if you have a Keeper. Callista and Elise. I think Elise is a fine keep against Ash Judge. It gives you a spider. Usually they can't block it on turn 2 unless they have Archer. Sejuani and Ender probably ditches. You need the... If you have your early game set, by all means keep an Ender, sure. By all means keep a Vengeance. Yeah. I think Valfeast is really good because it goes into the Trifarian Glory Seeker. Yeah, this card. Yeah. Yeah, it goes into that really well, and I don't know, it gives you a chump blocker, so even if they don't have the Glory Seeker, it's still really good. Well, oh yeah, be aware of Reckoning, okay, so try play around it. Usually your board is gonna be pretty wide, so you're pretty vulnerable to Reckoning, but if they Reckoning you, like, try not to go too wide until you have the Endure ready. Because if they Reckoning and then you Endure, I don't know, it's gonna be rough for them. You probably win. Against Twisted Fate Ezreal, there's some gameplay in the... if you go back to my previous videos, you could see that this deck is pretty favored against Twisted Fate Ezreal, like by a decent margin, because they don't really have a lot. Like they can remove these, but they don't really want to waste removal on them, right? So you just go super wide with like, usually don't play Elise into Thermo, at least. Just don't play Elise into Thermo. Don't play anything into Thermo actually, like, at least not perfect Thermo mana, right? Just like, don't Caretaker on turn 4 because they could have Twisted Fate unless they tap under. Remember red card's a thing, so just be aware of that. And yeah, I mean, they don't really have a lot. Like gold card is kind of whatever. Make it rain is a thing, so if you drop a Curse Keeper, usually they won't make it rain. Sometimes they will. If they think you're gonna proc it anyway, they will. But yeah, you get a free Escape Abomination, so works for you. Yeah, you basically just play normally, and usually you win when you draw the Endure. Cause Twisted Fate Ezreal doesn't really have a good way of dealing with Endure, to be honest. They have Gold card, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, play for the Endure out, and those are pretty much the two prevalent decks right now. Scouts is the other one. Basically, they're super aggro, so just keep your chump blockers like so. Keep Biofeast. Remember they have Ranger's Resolve, so don't give them, like, it's gonna get a little bit of value, but make sure not to give it too much value. Like, don't put perfect blocks everywhere if they have 1 mana floating. Just they have Genevieve. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's scary. Sometimes they run Quinn, but usually you'll be able to outlast them to when you can endure and kill them. So yeah, just chump block and then get good trades with Caretaker, etc. And yeah, you'll probably be fine. So yeah, this deck's pretty simple. Not much to explain, so it's kind of a short guide. But yeah, if you want some gameplay, check out my previous videos. I will be entering a tournament soon. My lineup is here. There's 3 decks that I'm using. I don't know what I'm using it actually, but I'm gonna enter DOR, so I'm gonna be streaming during that time. I think, I'm not sure what time it is actually. I'll put it in the description if I remember. But yeah, it's gonna be on Saturday. So yeah, I'm entering the NA version, NADOR. So wish me luck. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see any of these decks or have any deck requests of your own, leave it in the comments and I'll try to get to it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys.